Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Joe from GadgetryTech.com, and today we're going to talk about the Astro A20 Gen 2. Now, we're going to talk about PlayStation and Xbox versions. I'm going to compare them. As you can tell, I have a few headsets behind me. It's because I want to share some important information. Now, before I get any further, this was not sent to me for review. I have been purchasing a lot of headsets that haven't been sent to me for review, because let's face it, I'm a smaller channel. Depending on when you're watching this, I'm just under 3,000 subs. So not a lot of companies want to work with me yet, which is cool. I got to get there somewhere. I wanted to buy this because it's important to compare it to other headphones I've reviewed. I've covered a lot from Lucid Sound, Turtle Beach, Rockcat, etc. So it's important to cover other top sellers. With that being said, let's talk about the basics. So this sells for $119.99 in either version. They make an Xbox version, which looks like this. They make a PlayStation version. Again, both sell for $120. Now, what's really, really cool about this, I'm just going to get right to it, is the Xbox version does not direct pair to the Xbox. It uses its own dedicated transmitter. It's a USB transmitter. It works on Xbox One, One S, One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and that same transmitter works on PC. It will show up as Xbox controller, and you can use it on that without any problems. So as far as compatibility goes, for Windows and Xbox, the one for $120 is amazing. Now, the real kicker, and this is to me the best selling point of this, I want to say it right off the bat, you can buy the PlayStation transmitter separately for $20, pair it to your Xbox version, then get wireless sound and chat on PlayStation without having to buy a new headset. That is huge, and there aren't any real wireless headphones right now that do chat and game wirelessly for both consoles under $150. This is uncharted territory. So I want to give kudos to Astros because I think that's an incredible offering. Not a lot of people know that. Some people have more than one console or play on both console plus PC. Let's say you have a PlayStation 4, but you bought an Xbox Series X and occasionally game on a computer. Now you can buy this, get the transmitter, and under 150 you're covered on everything. So I absolutely love that. Now, as far as basic specs go, it is USB-C. It comes with a short USB cable. You can charge it and play on it at the same time. The light will turn amber when it's charging and then white when it's connected. If it's blinking white, that means it's trying to connect. So it comes with a USB cable. It has a 15-hour battery life, which for this price point, again, $120, is average. Some of them are worse, some are slightly better, but 15 is certainly respectable. The goal is to get through an entire day's worth of gaming if you had a really long session, or to two to three nights if you're playing more casually, a few hours at a time, which is casual to some. So anyway, good battery life. It's USB-C, which is great because it's next gen. The microphone is a flip to mute design. It is a big, big microphone. And even though it's not super flexible, it's very flexible, but it doesn't always hold its position. You can bend it and bring it closer to your mouth, and then you can open it back up. It doesn't like to bend the other way. It always comes back, but you can at least bend it inward a little bit. Now, as far as noise rejection goes on the microphone, this actually does an incredible job of rejecting background noise. I'm going to get into the microphones more. We'll do a mic test and compare them to the Turtle Beaches because they have one that's cheaper and one that's more than this. The noise rejection can come at a detriment. So if you're using this for streaming as well, and it's important to get high quality audio to your viewers, this is not the microphone you want to use. You can use this for gaming, but buy a separate microphone for a podcast or streaming, because part of the reason why they are able to reject so much background noise is the quality of the microphone pickup, and the noise gate is so aggressive that you don't sound that good. I'll show you the mic test. It's actually the worst one out of all of these. It's usable. Your friends will certainly hear you just fine, but it's not, again, a studio quality microphone. And you can twist it a little bit too. So I like that it's flipped to mute. Now let's talk about comfort and ergonomics, because this is, again, interesting. So for some reason, they put a notch in the headband. Wouldn't be a big deal if the padding was really robust, but this is a rubbery pad on the headband. It's not that cushiony, and that crease that they put in, for some reason, puts a pressure point on your head. So if you have thinner hair like me, or none, depending on your head, you can immediately feel it. That stands out as a pressure point. Now, it's not so bad that it's uncomfortable for long periods of time. I've used this for several hours at a time, multiple nights, and it's offset by the comfort that you get with the ear pads. This is an interesting fabric. It's not like the open fabric stuff that you typically see with other gaming headsets that use fabric. This is more of like your nightmare fabric or cloth, if you will. If you get lint on things, they tend to hold everything. It's almost Velcro-like. You can kind of hear your hands scraping against it, and I see little threads coming out. So the one advantage to these is they are extremely comfortable. The ear cups are probably some of the best you can get for long-term gaming sessions because they breathe well and they are very soft, so they won't really cause any sweat. And they may look bad over time, but they are fairly durable. So I've had a lot of Astro headsets that I've purchased in the past, and they all work the same way as this. It's just the way this material is. Now, unfortunately, at 120, these ear pads are not replaceable. I pulled pretty hard, and they seem to be glued in. So if you tear them or have any serious issues with them, that's it. Unfortunately, you can't swap it out. The padding or the cloth that goes over the driver has enough of a backing behind it where you immediately hit something hard. It's basically the cover for the speaker to protect it. So I don't anticipate this getting loose and kind of flopping around over time. Now, as far as buttons go, unlike some of the other headphones out there, which tend to prefer the left side for your ear controls or audio controls, everything on this one is on the right. You have your power button up top. You have your EQ profiles, which it's interesting. They don't really tell you anywhere what the EQ profiles are. However, it's Astro, Pro, and Studio. Doesn't mean anything if you don't know what each one sounds like. It's like, which one's more bassy? Is it Pro, is it Studio, or is it the Astro signature sound? I can tell you these get extremely loud. The Astro A20 Gen 2s are louder than the Stealth 600s, and they're comparable, slightly louder, if anything, than the Stealth 700 Gen 2s. Now, louder isn't always better. What these benefit from is a pretty good amp. Astro really gives these things hell as far as amplification goes, which is why you get that sound. Now, the driver quality is not as good as I think what Turtle Beach uses with their, they have these interesting drivers. If they're 50 millimeters on Turtle Beaches, these are 40 millimeter drivers. Doesn't always mean everything. I've heard 40 mil drivers sound really good. These still sound good, and for gaming they're great. They are very sharp sounding, which can be good and bad. For gaming, you want to hear footsteps. You want to know where things are, and I think these do a really good job of getting some of the details in the game. Almost too much, so depending on your game mix, you know, little clicks and reloading at high volumes can be a bit sharp and hurt your ears, which causes ear fatigue. So even though your ears will be comfortable, because again, this padding is great, I'm not going to fault it, and it actually has a large opening too, so fit larger ears. The Stealth 600s are a little bit smaller. However, if you listen to this at loud volumes, which again, these are the loudest sub $150 headset I've listened to, that can hurt your ears over time because it's a little sharper. The Turtle Beaches are a little bit more smooth. So it depends on what you like. Now, I talked about the ear cup size. Again, I do love that it's a larger ear cup, so depending on your ear shape or size, this is going to be very comfortable. It's more forgiving than the Turtle Beaches, which tend to have slightly smaller openings. Another cool thing is because of this design, this can get extremely small. So if you want a good gaming headset for a little one, or if you have a larger head, these are one of the most versatile headphone designs I've seen. Anything under 300, to be honest, to fit small and larger heads. So if you want a good headphone for smaller heads, this is great. The clamp force isn't too high. Basically, the Stealth 600s are good because they're fairly compact. They get small as well. You can see the opening here, and I'll try to put them side by side. You can see that the height from the top of the ear cup to the headband is lower on the Astro. This is extremely small. This can still fit small heads. On this setting, I can actually still wear it, but it's a little tight. Whereas on this, on the smallest setting, it doesn't even cover my ear. It's too high. These clamp really hard, so if you like a good seal, Turtle Beaches are better. And I want to point this out because, again, I'm trying to cover everything unbiased as possible. Turtle Beaches swivel both directions and they tilt. Very, very flexible. So if you like, again, having a good seal and a nice solid even pressure disbursement on your head, These are great. Part of why Astro does not have a strong clamp force with these is because even though the headband is great, the ear cup mount is pretty terrible. There is no swivel. It is a fixed frame ear cup mount, so you can't twist the ear pad. So if I'm looking at it like this, it doesn't do anything. Whereas with the Turtle Beaches, you get a lot of rotation. You can see a big difference there. So if this doesn't fit the shape of your head, you could have problems. What I feel is because these ear pads are so good, it honestly gives them a lot of flexibility as far as having a perfect pressure point. However, I feel like these need to be tilted inward just slightly to get a perfect feel of even pressure on my head. So they have tilt. You're talking like a couple degrees. It's extremely minor, but it is there. It's not as good as almost any other headphone I've seen. Honestly, the $50 headphones I've seen have better ergonomic adjustment. The only big advantage here is it's a straightforward design. It should be fairly durable, and it fits small and large heads better than most headphones I've seen. So those are the ergonomics. We've talked about the sound quality as far as volume goes. I've gone through all 3 presets, and honestly, they sound good with different game mixes or movies. I have a clip. This is kind of more of a grassroots style approach, if you can't tell with this review. I have this this Call of Duty clip. It has a great mix of explosions, reloads, hearing footsteps, the zone coming in behind you, airstrikes, everything. And I just kept playing it over and over with different EQ presets on this and multiple headphones to see how it compares. These are really, really good because of the volume. At max volume, you will hear footsteps a little bit further. However, I had to turn it down in some parts because it gets so loud it can hurt your ears. So a lot of people do like that overhead. Not every game will be as loud. So having a headset that gets really loud gives you more flexibility on quiet games. So honestly, the sound quality is acceptable. The Turtle Beaches have better bass for sure, and they are smoother sounding. I'll talk about how the Stealth 700s compare. Honestly, the real selling point to this, guys, is its simplicity. Even though for some reason Astro advertises the command center on their website, these are not customizable in any single way, period. It's just out of the box, pray it works. There's no firmware updates, there's nothing. Eventually, Astro confirmed that the command center software will get updated in case there's ever a firmware update, but you cannot change mic sensitivity, noise gate, which is the pushing away background noises or preventing those from leaking in. You can't change your audio profiles, etc. If you want a lot of customization, look at the Astro A40s or A50s if you still want wireless. However, the A50s don't have that awesome dual console configuration. So I love these for what they are, in that if you need wireless for everything but a Nintendo Switch. Actually, you know what I think about the PlayStation version, some of those transmitters do work on the Switch. You won't have chat, but you should have game audio. If you need one wireless headset under $150 that supports both sides of the spectrum for consoles and PC, these are great. They're your best bang for your buck. They're very straightforward. The volume adjustment, so I talked about power, EQ. You have your volume, this green knob right here to adjust it, and then you can tap a button before or after it to adjust your voice and game mix. So if you need to adjust your crossover point to hear the volume between game and chat, you can do that. So there's some faults, obviously. Again, I wish this could swivel. I wish it was customizable, but in the microphone quality is a bit poor. However, if you live in a noisier area or play in a noisier area, your friends will appreciate the fact that you won't hear ceiling fans, the dryer running, family in the background, whatever. This rejects that amazingly well. So especially good for LAN parties. We're going to do a mic test in a second. I want to compare it to this. The Stealth 600s, also 15-hour battery, only $100. These use direct pair to Xbox. There have been several firmware updates to fix performance issues because they've had some dropouts or occasional freezes. So it's had some bugs, but they've worked that out. Also flip to mute. All the controls are on the left side, still USB-C. I think these can be more comfortable with certain heads because of all the adjustment and versatility. However, it does have a higher clamp force, which some people will get headaches or discomfort from. So if you don't like a lot of pressure on your ears, these are a little bit more firm. Microphone on this is way better than the Astro A20 as far as quality goes. The problem with this one is it hears everything. So I didn't know this in the beginning because I play in my office. It's a fairly quiet room, and I didn't have as much background noise, so my friends never heard it. But if you have a noisier area, I've seen people complaining online of this picking up and playing everything. So if you want a direct comparison, this is a little bit cheaper, same battery life, great for a single console. There's no way to make one headset work on both consoles and PC. You'd have to buy two separate headsets, which puts you at $200. Microphone quality is better, but it picks up everything in the background. Good if you need one headset for streaming as well, but again, worry about that background noise. This I'm only showing because that's 120 and it's a great headset. This is 150 and it is loaded with features. You get Bluetooth, you get a 20-hour battery, customizable presets, the superhuman hearing that you can turn on and off, adjustable mic gain. There is a lot, and as you can tell, tons of flexibility. The best ear pads under $200 I've used. They are incredibly comfortable. So 120 for a single console, 140 for both consoles and PC. This is single console. You have to pick if you want it for PlayStation or Xbox. Both will work on PC, but it is a great headset. So if you want to have a little bit more sound quality, this has much better bass, much more comfortable, and a lot more features. So I just, again, want to throw that out there. And then lastly, this isn't the one I wanted to recommend specifically. Lucid Sound, no adjustments, not even an EQ. However, it has a good mic. It gets as loud as the Astros, and you can get them for like $130 for the LS31. That one does wireless on all consoles and PC with a single purchase. So it's comparable price-wise. They're nice. They have an ear cup closer to the Turtle Beach Stealth 700 Gen 2s, but I wish this had bass adjustment because it's really, really loud, but it's almost like it's in signature mode. It doesn't have any boost. The one nice thing, the reason why I brought this up, it has a passive input, so you have a headphone cable that's included. You can plug it into anything with a headphone jack on top of using it wirelessly. So with that being said, let's talk about microphones and show you the difference in sound quality. All right, so this is me talking on the Astro A20 Gen 2 wireless headset. And as you can tell, it has a lot of compression, but also there is no background noise. If I snap my fingers on the side, different volumes, you can tell how much it rejects. So it does a pretty good job. Again, I am understandable, but don't expect to have any podcast quality or stream quality level of sound. Okay, so this is what the microphone sounds like on the Stealth 600 Gen 2 from Turtle Beach. Again, it's a $100 headset. As you can tell, the microphone quality is much more clear, much more open. However, I hear, even on soft clicks, it picks up everything in the background. If there's people talking in the background, you'll even hear that down the hall. So not very good at noise rejection, however, very clear, open microphone. Okay, so this is what I sound like on the Stealth 700 Gen 2 from Turtle Beach. As you can tell, very, very open, extremely clear. In fact, for under 150, this has been the best wireless microphone I've ever tested on any headset, and it does a good job at rejecting background noise. In addition to having a good standard configuration with the Stealth 700 Gen 2, you can pair it to your phone via Bluetooth as mentioned, but there's also an app so you can adjust the noise gate and reduce background noise. So I just want to show you the difference on the microphone quality. And as you can tell, it does a good job at rejecting some background noise without picking up every single thing. However, it still has a very clear sounding microphone. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. All right, guys, so there you have it. That is the Astro A20 in a nutshell. I don't want to make it sound like it's all negatives because it actually is a really good headphone in a sense that it did just work. I know I knocked it for not having firmware updates. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just good to know that in the future you can. I wish it allowed you to make some changes. But the build quality is actually really good. It's actually better feeling than my Astro A50s, and I've reviewed those in the past, including a long-term review. This microphone, it has a similar look, but this feels much better than the A50s. So you can tell with the Gen 2s on the A20s, they learned a lot from problems in the past. Physically, I think this is the most durable feeling Astro I've used, especially at this price point. They did a really good job. There's no creaks, no weird things going on. It just works. The noise is just the microphone touching, so I can do that. No rattles. So it's actually really well made. The 3 sound profiles, there are some that give you a little bit more bass, so cycle through and see what you like. The controls are very straightforward, especially once you get used to it. I like that it's USB-C and the battery life's been excellent. And the big kicker, again, under $150 to get wireless mic and game audio on both console platforms plus PC is an absolute bargain to get this level of comfort and quality. So again, I still want to give Astro kudos. And there's one funny thing, a little Easter egg on the box. I know people like Easter eggs. If you look under technical specifications, they list gigawatts, and it says 1.21 G at 88 miles per hour. So Astro, if you are watching, kudos for having a good sense of humor and putting some cool stuff on boxes. I actually really like these. I don't want it to sound like I don't, because I think they did something that other companies have ignored, and they made it easy to get a good quality headset that works on everything. It's the only real faults, again, are the lack of customization, and the microphone quality is a little bit subpar, but some people prefer the noise rejection over picking up everything in your house, and they would sacrifice some sound quality. So I had great experience with this. And I didn't have any audio cutouts, which is huge. Whenever you use a headset with a built-in transmitter, occasionally you get audio drops, at least on the Microsoft side. That's just how their consoles work. And because this uses its own dedicated transmitter, the performance was phenomenal. I never had one audio cutout. It just worked perfectly. So no firmware update needed, at least now. And I can't be happier with them. I used them on my Xbox One X and the Xbox Series X, and they work great. So anyway, with that being said, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Again, I bought these to be as unbiased and fair as possible, and I hope it helped you make your decision. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, because not only are we covering more headphones in depth, we have a couple others I've purchased. I'm also going to be doing like a good, better, best for the holidays. So if you're looking for best sub 100, best 150, and then your audiophile stuff when you get into the premium game stuff, I'm going to cover a good tier there, so it should hopefully help. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.